Immediately.
You're ready when you are.
We'll call it 5 o'clock and we'll call the Public Safety Committee meeting to order. Please take the roll.
Baylor,
Here.
Holman,
Here.
Tarts,
Here.
Any persons desiring to be heard? None. Consideration of the minutes from January 21st.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of January 21st.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, new business. I guess the police are going first tonight.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I will begin to the packet that I gave you with some personnel updates. First one I'll start with is that Officer Brian Ratzloff has been assigned to light duty since March 3rd, and this was a result of an incident that occurred back in February, in which a fleeing suspect struck his squad car. Fortunately, he's anticipated to return to full duty May 20th. And we've been managing staffing-wise in the interim. I'll touch a little bit on some overtime expenditures later related to that. But he's in good spirits and actually happens to be here. He's the next item. I'd like to acknowledge that a month ago, and it's a little less than a month ago, March 16th, Officer Ratzloff completed his 10 years of service with the Village of Butler Police Department. So fine accomplishment, 10 years here in the Village of Butler as a law enforcement officer here. And so we certainly want to acknowledge that. So Brian, would you come up here, please? I just have a little something on behalf of the police department that I would like to present to you.
bless you.
So a little plaque here with our logo, and it says presented to Officer Brian Ratzloff, Village of Butler Police Department, 2025 for 10 years of dedicated service. Congrats.
Very good. Yeah.
Take a little picture.
Yeah, awesome.
Here.
All right.
Don't want to get in that.
Yeah.
Good to go. Probation officer might see it.
Yeah.
All right. Did you like to say anything?
Thank you, everyone. Crazy, it's been 10 years already, I guess. But, yeah. Very happy to be here to serve the village and being a limited light duty role that I have been for the last month. But I could come to an end soon.
That's right.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your service and happy to hear you're healing up.
Thanks for coming back. I spent home an hour working. Voluntarily come back, so appreciate that. Another personnel update. Currently, as of yesterday, Officer Taylor Longross has been ordered to active duty with the U.S. Army, with the Army Reserves. So he's in a training school. He'll be gone until approximately May 12th. This will be in place of his 2-week commitment that he would typically do later in the year. So it's an extended leave right now. So of course now with one officer on light duty, another one on military leave, we'll pick up the slack and handle things for the next few weeks. So no worries there. That's where Taylor is. There is one personnel-wise, there's one minor ongoing internal investigation that will be concluded tomorrow. Potentially have some more information, but it's nothing significant, something internally that we're handling. So I'll put that on there. Keep you in with any questions related to any personnel updates?
No, that's excellent.
Okay. So the next section, training updates. Pretty impressive. So I put it up here first, but our staff has attended a total of 460 hours of training in the first quarter of 2025. So we've talked about this before, that training is one of our focuses within the department. And it's really, I listed some specific classes and things that I'll highlight, but it's all of our staff. So this includes everything from myself to Melinda, our executive assistant, and everybody in between doing different types of trainings that are required related to some of our job duties. So for example, the administrative duties that Melinda has gone through includes training on incident-based reporting system. So she is really becoming and has to become our in-house expert on these reporting requirements that are national and statewide reporting requirements. She's gone through public records law training. She's the first line of open records requests. And so to have a knowledge and a legal standing on that, to understand that. and then again, a little bit of everything in between. So I'm proud of that. That's going to continue to be one of our focuses. You know, that I believe in a well-trained police department, right, is good for the village, it's good for the people we serve. And so we certainly are focusing on that. All of our officers have completed their 24 hours of annual in-service training at WCTC, which we send people to either in the fall or the spring, same sessions, but they're offered in fall and spring, and some of the topics that are listed on there. Myself and Captain Benson, we also instruct at WCTC for this training. So in addition to our own officers coming through it, we get to be involved with a lot of other organizations and departments in our instructor role through the tech college. All of our officers, in fact, all of our staff completed adult to pediatric first aid, CPR, and AED training and recertification. So that'll be a 2-year certification, and Officer Nissenbaum, who has a medical background as a paramedic, is an instructor in that and led all of that training for us. So all of our staff is speeding that as of March through March of 27. And then we also just completed yesterday our last day of our 4-hour, or actually our 8-hour training with our Lakes training group. So the other agencies out in the Lakes area, Waukesha County, that we train with. 4 hours of defensive arrest tactics, and then 4 hours of firearms training. And again, some of the specific topics are listed there. I did receive, as I was on my way out the door yesterday from that training, from one of the defensive tactics instructors from another agency, who said, I really appreciate when your guys come through the training because they take it so seriously and they put the effort in. We don't see that from all the other departments. So kind of a pat myself on the back moment, but for our guys to hear that from somebody else. So
Excellent.
I'm proud to hear that, and certainly thanks to the effort that we put in. Our guys take training serious, which is why we're able to focus on it. It's not just sending them out of the village to waste their time or anybody else's. As a side note to that, we do have our new rifles, and so they're currently still, 3 of them are getting set up, but 1 is currently set up and ready to be put into service after our last training session as soon as it gets clean. So our new equipment will be out in the squads very soon. And beyond what's on the paper, there any questions regarding the training?
No, I think it's excellent. I'm glad to see you guys are doing as much training as possible, yet still keeping us, safe around here in the village. I think it's really important. Training is always important, not only for yourself, but for your men. And then you guys also teach there too. So it's another feather in your cap, and we appreciate that.
So then some other updates, that I included. We participated back in February with the directed patrol enforcement effort with the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department. So they came down and did some targeted traffic enforcement towards aggressive driving, reckless driving, looking for drug and other criminal activity through the village. It was a good success, and we're actually going to be planning something again in the near future. That was a weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. that we conducted this. We conducted over 21 traffic stops, 11 citations, and made 4 arrests for drug-related things and warrants in that 4-hour block during the middle of the day in February. So we know that activity is coming through our village, and we're certainly going to continue to enforce and target some of those types of criminals. We participated with the Butler Public Library. They hosted a nice Coffee with a Cop event for us in February. It was well attended. We always like the opportunity to connect with the community in that way, in a personal setting and more of an informal setting. Administrator Hubrick and I attended a Waukesha County radio workshop on March 17th. The first of what I believe will probably be many related to some changeovers in the radio system. I don't fully understand the technicalities of it all, but basically they're switching radios to a different phase, and some portable radios, some squad radios may not be compatible. This is county-wide and probably beyond that issue. And so we're looking into it because we believe we'll be supported and not have any issues through at least 2028. But it's something that will be probably have a significant budget impact. So we're going to start planning this year, but in anticipation of the next several years, so we're not caught off guard if and when that happens. And we'll continue to get more information. I'll certainly keep you updated regarding that. Last Saturday, we hosted a Wheels for Heroes program here at Village Hall. It was very well attended. We had 30 participants from our department as well as other Waukesha County law enforcement agencies. This was staffed by all volunteer attorneys and support staff. very well received a lot of compliments, and it was a huge success. It's a program where these volunteer attorneys come in and basically go through and for first responders provide wills, power of attorney, those type of legal documents to help us, and they do it in a voluntary capacity. So it's a really good program. First time we posted it here, and very well received by not only our officers, but those that came from other agencies to join us for that on Saturday. If you drove by, you
Never
saw
heard of that.
all the cars.
Okay.
April 26th is our National Prescription Drug Take Back Day, so we'll be participating in that again this year. And we continue to see regular use of our drug disposal bin in the lobby as well. So another good program, keeping prescription drugs out of our water systems and out of the hands of people that they shouldn't be. Myself, Captain Benson, Officer Longruss, attended along with a lot of members of the community back on Sunday, April 6th, to support the family of a Butler teenager who passed away in a motor vehicle crash. It was very well attended by the community. Unfortunate situation. Good to see the support, and I know there's more to come with that. Our department will certainly continue to support the family and the community and be involved the way that we can. Captain Benson has been voted in, and he was not at this meeting, but he was voted in as the team commander for the countywide major investigations unit. So this is a multi-agency investigative team that we participate in with multiple agencies in Waukesha County, including the Sheriff's Department. So the concept behind it, and we've been a part of it for years, is that if there's a major incident in our community or any others in the county, we bring in resources from all different departments. So we participate in planned activities like search warrants. There could be a scene that needs to be processed, say at Heartland, for example, where they have a burglary and they need somebody to come in and assist with photography. They don't have someone on duty. All these different people are involved in this, and we assist them, they assist us, and it's a great program and a great team. So as a team commander, Captain Benson will be leading that group whenever there's activities or incidents that occur. So good group to be a part of, and proud to have him in that role. I have added one more thing to my plate, but I was asked to be and accepted to be a member of the Wisconsin Chiefs of Police Association Training Committee after our last annual conference. So a committee of us that basically plan the training for the State Police Chiefs Association, associated training that goes along with that. Continuing policy updates, currently focusing on kind of some major policies on evidence collection and preservation, digital evidence, vehicle pursuits, and policies related to our body and squad camera. We're looking at some other options for a more advanced policy management with the, I say, complexities of things and things that we keep adding and looking at some outside resources that may keep us and ensure that we're up to date with best practices and standards from around the country and around the state. So that is a work in progress. And if you would see my desk, you would understand that it is truly a work in progress. Myself and Melinda, we were able to go to St. Agnes as we do periodically and read to the kindergartners. We got all 3 kindergarten classes together. Ended out little squishy policemen, had a great time with the kids. In the last couple of weeks, as the weather's got nicer, we've had some of our officers stop out and hang out at recess with the kids, play games with them. I was gonna bring it in and I forgot it in my mail stuff, but we got a packet of drawings and pictures of police cars and thank you notes from the kids at St. Agnes. So really good thing that they certainly appreciate. We probably get more value out of it than they do in some regards. So love being a part of the community and the school. And then just a couple other updates. So the fleeing incident where Officer Ratzloff, his squad was hurt and he was injured. That suspect remains in custody. Court case is slowly progressing, but he was charged with 5 felonies and has not gotten out of jail while that case pens, and I don't anticipate that to be the case. And then with the press release that I handed out to you, I believe I shared this information when we were involved in it, but a good case that got put together, a really long-term investigation. Officer Knapp did a lot of the investigation of what was occurring here in Butler at these auto shops. Worked with the State Department of Justice, and the case all came together. And the 2 main actors, father and son, who were working out of Butler here, have been charged with dozens of felonies, victimizing people by buying used cars, rolling back the odometers on them, and then reselling them for a higher price than what they purchased them for. So, unfortunately, a lot of innocent victims, but a lot of time and effort by a lot of law enforcement put a good case together on that. Waukesha County DA's office did an outstanding job putting a case together and charging them as well. So,
Did everybody now get round up.
Yep.
There's, at one point, I think the sun was still
Yep,
kind of
correct.
out
Yep, so,
running.
yeah, he was arrested. I think after a warrant was issued, he turned himself in to
Okay.
his attorney, and actually yesterday had a preliminary hearing, and was on over for trial after that, so.
Great.
Any questions about any of those topics? Okay, so then just some numbers, right, incidents,
I did.
arrest data to kind of look at. We want to kind of share what's going on. A couple highlights that I always look at and we're constantly looking at, but either significant or violent crimes or major property crimes. And, you know, we do what we can, but I think there's something to be said for the visibility of our officers in the village as it relates to zeros related to armed robberies, burglaries, low numbers of entry to autos, low numbers of thefts, even retail thefts. So I think, you know, you can't prevent those completely, but I think us being visible in the village,
Absolutely.
that goes a long ways when people maybe make a decision on where and when they want to commit crime. So we'll continue to do a good job with that along with all the other numbers that you see there. Over 1,600 calls and service. And those include extra patrols and community policing checks, but over 1,600 calls in the first quarter here. Arrest data, so that's kind of the specifics as far as the types of crimes that we've arrested people for in the first quarter here. Fairly high number of warrants, that's higher than it normally is for some reason, but that speaks to the proactive nature of our officers being out there and initiating stops and traffic stops and other things with people. And then at the bottom, there's 770 traffic citations that we've issued in the first quarter. 30 individuals were cited for various municipal ordinance or state traffic violations, and 25 people were taken to jail on various criminal charges in Waukesha County. So the items that we seized there, a couple firearms, over 200 grams of marijuana. We're still seeing a couple cases of methamphetamine pills. And then we saw some basically cops who left with police in one of our cases. So you never know what. As far as our squad updates to wrap up, 724, so our new squad that was, it was totaled by the insurance company as a total loss in that incident that occurred. I just noted that on February 17th, we had finally gotten our new laptop and MVC installed, and on February 18th is when a crash occurred and it was totaled the next day. So short-lived, but we're hoping for better luck with the 25. We did order a replacement squad immediately based on the interactions with the insurance company. And if you look out in the lot, we do have a new 2025 squad that was ordered last year. The graphics are on it now, and it's just, we have all the equipment, it just needs to be outfitted. And that should start in the next week or so. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll see that squad in service and on the road for us.
Was that new computer totaled also?
It was not.
Okay, so that can still, at least we salvage that. Okay.
Yep. And we did salvage quite a bit of equipment off that squad. But the computer is okay. So.
Yeah, okay.
So as soon as the rest of the stuff is in there, that'll be out there as well. And then just a couple citizen compliments. I received random emails and or in passing with people. Somebody had talked about a problem with a car in one of the neighborhoods. We did some extra patrols and seemingly solved that problem. So they were appreciative of that. And then I think Ben may have mentioned this, but again, since this is quarterly, he was at a conference and was talking to some people, and they were highly complimentary of not only the village and his role, but our police department. How we've been fully staffed for over a year. We don't see right now the turnover or retention issues that some other places are seeing. So there's things that I think we're doing internally that speak to that. But certainly when it comes to salary, benefits, appreciation of all of our people that work here, it goes a long way. So thank you for all the support that you guys give us as well. Skateland, a little bit of an uptick in calls for service there. Although typically over the winter is their busier time. So nothing major to report. A couple of disorderly conduct citations were issued and a handful of uncooperative patrons. The security there is actually doing a really good job where they're not letting people in that shouldn't be in, whether it be age restrictions, they don't have parents or whatever else. Occasionally those people don't agree with it. And then we have to be following and handle it. So they're still doing a fine job with what they're doing there.
You're happy with how that's going with them?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
our first quarter of 24, 25. December runs in our renders, December. So we're sitting roughly about where I'd expect to be, basically the same as last year. Mutual aid calls were down, but everything was more involved. Fire runs are up a little bit, squad calls were down a little bit. As far as personnel goal, it's showing
Mhm.
I have roster of 25, but out of that 25 now, I have 4 off on limited service. 2 of them are the doctors who work if they can. One's full-time school, one's off on medical, one's active duty. 15 active duties. 11 of which are EMTs. That's where we're sitting right now. Manpower is, so, but we're making do. As far as the apparatus goes, small repairs were made. The primer pump on the backup engine, the second engine was taken care of. Everything else is running good. I do have one issue right now with the ladder. I have hydraulic cylinder. I'm taking off the repair stabilizers. So it'll be down for probably 2 weeks next week. It's next Wednesday. It's going to be taken off. I'll strap that rigger up, suck it in, and put it in here. Sit down. But it'll take them 2 weeks to repack it. As far as EMS training, December we recertified CPR, everybody recertified on there. January, we moved into what's called Vector Solutions, more of an online training that in line with the Falls and everybody else in Waukesha County. And you train to your own, you give us an assignment for the month, you take care of it, it's all computer based. We did our EMT refresher, like I did mine, it was 40 hours on there. I worked it off, I had it done in 5 weeks. Drill piece, get it done, get it certified, so we're working on that. But we're liking it, and for our drills, we'll get a basic, give the assignment out, they do it, and then on that drill night. Like we just finished up a section now this last month on ropes, knots, and that. We go through, it's an hour course on it. That night we put it to practical use.
So you're using that also as for fire training, not just EMS? Okay.
It's basically how everybody look now with, I'll use the Falls for example, with them being stations and they can't get together to do it like the EMT refresher app without abandoning the stations. So they use there's this program and one other one that they're using.
Yeah.
It works out.
It's
We did went over all cold water emergencies. Fire training December. I had the guys were up in Germantown's fire training. They have a burn house.
Yep.
They're over there. Germantown let us use it. Put us through the live burn.
Yeah, I was able to be there for that.
They went up there, worked out good. And we couldn't send everybody. I kept the guys back with me. We stayed in town. They're all there. January was we worked over with a new thermal imaging camera and 4 gas meters that we got on the grant. We certified on those. February here we had C sign up for the officers that as far as the ones, my new daytime guys want to get a little straight at us. So put the fire ones in there for that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-mm.
It looks, they did a decent job, I guess. So, pretty much.
On the Hampton Regencies, are they, there's what, about 20 in here? Is that average now for them or
You know, busier.
is there? That's what I thought.
We get called for everything. Missing their dialysis. Go that way. We've got 3 or 4 that let the call.
Mm.
But we have had it's going back to an older crowd. It's a city crowd. Into there. All the units for everything. And I'm starting to notice it too at the square a little bit. Not quite as bad, but.
So back to the training. So like to use your ropes training as an example, then, so everybody reviews their material online, and then when you come together, then who assesses if they're doing it right?
One of the regular training officers that we have,
Okay,
John, Brandon, anybody that they'll go in there for practical use. Like we were inside because it was a Friday night, but how to tie the rope off. We use basically 3 basic knots. So they have like 12 hacks, so on anything. And tied them, lifted them. They also used one over there because they're all carrying, I don't want to call it ribbon, but it's like sling material. How to put the person off the tray. You know, grab them by the shirt collar, anything more. These guys all have set up on there. Basically goes around the chest. up under
just a
your
mini
arms.
harness of sorts, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I use, basically I have either a full complete loops sling, I have 1 or 2 handles. I can grab.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
So, and then, basically, you're bowling, your full pitch half inch.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, we don't do a lot of high stuff, but to tie off, the more of the knots for tying off if I had to stabilize.
Mhm.
But some of those things that you just don't get to do.
Oh, right. That's the hard part with those, to know it when you need it. Any other questions? Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, chief.
Mhm.
And we'll need a motion for adjourning.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye at 5:26.